Let's bring in Giray Sadık. He is the director of the European Studies Research Center at Ankara Yıldırım Beyazıt University and joins me live now from the Turkish capital, Ankara. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. So more support for Ukraine as expected from the NATO summit. What are your thoughts on the overall outcome?
Well, that was expected as it has been a case from the US and other allies ramping up support. And that was also declared in the summit declaration. In addition to that, in the summit declaration, after that, terrorism is counted as an important threat that requires allies to cooperate, which is also important for Turkey. And also issues about China, as mentioned in the earlier news, enabling Russia's efforts in Ukraine. So those are pretty much the expected outcomes of the NATO summit.
Right, as you mentioned, one of the most important things for Turkey going into this summit was cooperation on counterterrorism operations, especially along the borders in Turkey. Do you think that they've garnered the support that they were expecting?
In terms of NATO declaration, allies stating that in the final document of declaration of NATO summit, it is important step. But in international politics, actions speak louder than words. Therefore, it's important, of course, to talk the talk, but it's important, as important at least, to walk the walk. So Turkey is looking forward to allies to keep their pledge at NATO summit and to further support the counterterrorism efforts of Turkey.
Right, and just going back to the alliance's support for Ukraine, some analysts do say that increased military support for Ukraine jeopardizes the prospects of peace talks. Would you agree?
Well, there is a war ongoing. All wars start with weapons, but they end with diplomacy. So there are ongoing efforts for having peace in Ukraine. So those efforts should be prioritized instead of fueling further arms to Ukraine. But we need to think them hand in hand. It's the lines are not clear there, definitely. Mm-hmm. It's not stop for all and then start for diplomacy, but there is on the one side war going on the other side diplomatic efforts, such as recently by Prime Minister Orban, but also the President Erdogan's talks at NATO summit or on the margins of NATO summit with President Zelensky indicate that Turkey can also play important roles in those peace efforts.
All right, Giray Sadık, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour and sharing that analysis with us.